Hello children, Yavanasti ma'am is back with calorimetry part 2. Now, in this part, we will be learning a very important topic called the principle of calorimetry, or this is also known as principle of method of mixtures. Now earlier based on this you had numericals, but now no numericals from the scope. The numericals are removed. Or Ria, reconnect your drive. So this principle says that when a hot body and cold body are kept in contact, then the hot body loses heat and the cold body gains heat. Why? Because heat energy always flows from a body at a higher temperature to a body at a lower temperature. So therefore, according to principle of calorimetry or principle of method of mixtures, heat energy lost by the hot body is equal to heat energy gained by the cold body. So is that clear children? Heat energy, whenever a hot body and a cold body are kept in contact, heat flows from the body which is at a higher temperature, means heat flows from the hot body to the cold body. So the amount of heat energy lost by the hot body is always equal to the heat energy gained by the cold body. This is called the principle of calorimetry or principle of method of mixtures. Okay. Now there is a mathematical statement for this. M1 C1 into T1 minus T is equal to M2 C2 T minus T2. Earlier based on this you had to do numerical, but now numericals are not there. So you must know what each term stands for. So now M1 is the mass of the body which is at higher temperature, or mass of the M1 is the mass of the hot body, you can say. C1 is the specific heat capacity of the hot body. Okay, and T1 is the temperature of the hot body. Okay, and M2 is the mass of the cold body, or the body which is at a lower temperature, mass of the cold body. C2 is the specific heat capacity of the cold body, and T2, see here T1 temperature of the hot body, so T2 is the temperature of the cold body. And the final temperature of the mixture, or final temperature of both the bodies in contact, is T. Final temperature is T. Means what? The hot body is at a temperature T1, cold body is at temperature T2. When these two bodies are kept in contact, heat from the whole hot body flows to the cold body until both the bodies attain a same temperature, and that temperature, final temperature, is T. So this expression, you don't have the derivation, you only have the expression for the law of calorimetry, or principle of calorimetry, or principle of method of mixture. So the expression is M1C1 into T1 minus T is equal to M2C2 into T minus T2, where M1 is the mass of hot body, C1 is the specific heat capacity of the hot body, T1 is the temperature of the hot body, T is the final temperature of both the bodies at reached. M2 is the mass of the cold body, C2 is the specific heat capacity of the cold body, and T2 is the temperature of the cold body, and T is the final temperature. Okay, so this is the expression. Now, natural phenomena and consequences of high speed specific heat capacity of water. Very, very important. One of these will definitely come in the examination for give reason or explain. Okay. Now, the first one is the climate near the seashore is moderate. So, the specific heat capacity of water is very high. You all know it is 1000 calorie per kg per degree Celsius, or 4200 joules per kg per calorie. Now this is about 5 times as high as that of sand. So hence the heat energy required for the same rise in temperature by a certain mass of water will be nearly 5 times than that required by the same mass of sand. Means the heat energy required to rise the temperature of certain mass of water by certain degree of temperature will be nearly 5 times the heat energy required to raise the temperature of same mass of sand to the same rise in temperature. Similarly, a certain mass of water will impart nearly 5 times more heat energy than that given by the same mass of sand. Okay, for the same falling temperature. As such, sand or earth gets heated or cooled more rapidly as compared to water under the similar conditions. So, sand or earth gets heated or cooled both quickly than water. Thus, near the seashore, there becomes a large difference in temperature between the land and the sea, due to which convection air currents are set up. The cold air blows from the land towards the sea during the night, that is called land breeze, and during the day cold air blows from the sea towards the land, that is called sea breeze. These breezes make the climate near the seashore moderate. You must have learnt in geography also this one. Okay. Now the second one, hot water bottles are used for fermentation. Why? Because the water does not cool quickly due to its high specific heat capacity. So water takes time to cool down. So a hot water bottle provides more heat energy for more time or a large period for fermentation. If you use any other thing, that will get cooled faster. Then the third one. Water is used as an effective coolant. This is because what do? They allow water to flow through pipes around the heated parts of a machine. Okay? Heat energy from such parts is removed. That because the water in the pipe absorbs the heat energy of the heated parts of the machine. Water in the pipes can extract more heat from the surroundings without much rise in temperature because of its high specific heat capacity. This is why radiators in car and generators use water for cooling. Now, the fourth one. In cold countries, water is used as heat reservoir for wine and juice bottles. To avoid their freezing. What happens in cold countries? Water is used as a heat reservoir for wine and juice bottles to avoid their freezing. Because of the low temperature in cold countries, the wine and juice bottles get frozen. The liquid inside them get frozen. To avoid that, they keep those bottles in water. The reason is that water, due to high specific heat capacity, can impart a large amount of heat before reaching to its freezing point. Hence, bottles kept in water remain warm and they do not freeze even though the temperature outside or in the surrounding is very low. Okay. Next, farmers fill their fields. This is very often asked. Farmers fill their fields with water to protect the crops from frost. A very important one. On a cold winter night, if the atmospheric temperature falls below zero, water in the fine capillaries of plants will freeze. So the veins will burst due to the increased volume of water freezing. As a result, plants will die and the crop will get destroyed. So in order to save the crop on such cold nights, farmers fill their fields with water because water has a high specific heat capacity, so it does not allow the temperature in the surrounding area of plants to fall up to 0 degrees C. So What does the water do if you fill up in the fields? It saves the plants. It saves the water inside the plants from freezing because it does not allow the temperature of the surrounding area of the plants to fall below or fall up to 0 degree Celsius. All plants and animals have a high content of water in their bodies. This is because all plants and animals have nearly 80 to 90% of the water in their bodies. This is because of its high specific heat capacity. Water maintains nearly the same temperature of their body in all seasons. Because of the high specific heat capacity of water, the temperature of the body remains same throughout all seasons. Okay. Then some examples of high and low heat capacity. The base of cooking pan is made thick. The base of cooking pan is made thick. This is because, this is also an important one. This is because the heat capacity becomes large due to, by making the base of the cooking pan thick, what happens? The heat capacity becomes large due to which it gets heated slowly and it imparts some sufficient heat energy at a slow rate to the food for its proper cooking, and after cooking it keeps the food warm for a long time. So what does the thick base do? The thick base of the cooking pan supplies heat energy at a slow rate so that the food gets properly cooked. Now, the base of an electric press is made thick and heavy. Same reason. The base of an electric press is made thick and heavy. So why do they do so? They do so because the heat capacity at the base of the electric press becomes large and it remains hot for a long duration even after the current is switched off. Okay. Then the vessel used for measurement of heat, that is called calorimeter, is made of thin copper sheet. That is because the specific heat capacity of copper is very low, and by making the vessel thin, its mass and hence its heat capacity becomes low or becomes less, so that it takes to attain it takes a negligible amount of heat from the contents of to attain its temperature. So this means what? The copper has very low specific heat capacity. So when you make the vessel out of thin copper sheet, its mass and hence its heat capacity becomes low, it becomes less, so that it takes a negligible amount of heat from the contents to attain its temperature. Okay. Now it is. Now we will learn change of phase or state. Okay. Now this change of state you all are learning since childhood. This diagram depicts the all changes of states. Solid, solid to liquid. This is called melting. And liquid to solid is called freezing. Then liquid to gas is called vaporization. And gas to liquid is called condensation. Okay. Then solid to directly gas is called sublimation. And gas to directly solid is called solidification. So these you have learned from childhood and from lower classes. So melting on freezing, the change from solid to liquid phase by the absorption of heat at a constant temperature is called melting. That's the definition of melting. The constant temperature at which the solid changes to liquid is called the melting point. Then heating curve of ice during melting. Take a boiling test tube and fill it half with ice cubes. Insert a thermometer gently into the ice, taking care that its bulb does not touch the walls of the test tube. Note the temperature of the ice. It will be 0 degrees. Heat the bottom of the test tube slowly over the flame by immersing the test tube in a beaker containing hot water. And note the temperature after every half a minute till the temperature of water formed after melting of ice increases 30 degrees. Plot a graph for temperature against time by taking temperature on y-axis and time on x-axis. The graph so obtained is shown in the figure. It is called heating curve for ice. So what is heating curve for ice? Heating curve for ice is the ice is taken in a test tube and it is kept a boiling test tube is taken and filled with half half of the test tube is filled with ice cubes. Then it is immersed in a vessel containing hot water and the temperature is checked. Then the water in the vessel is heated and then the temperature of the test tube is taken at an interval of every half a minute. So then when the temperature and the time are plotted on x-axis and y-axis respectively. The graph that you obtain is called the heating curve for ice. Okay. From the graph, it is clear that is this is the graph. This is time. This is temperature. 0, 10, 20, 30. This is time. 30 time in seconds. 30 seconds. Then 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 120 seconds, and 150 seconds. Okay. So from the graph, it is clear that the temperature of ice remains constant equal to 0 degree centigrade in the part AB. This is A. In the part AB, okay, till the whole ice melts. The constant temperature at which the ice melts, that is 0 degree centigrade, is the melting point of ice. The heat supplied during this time is being used in melting the ice. After this, the temperature of the water formed by the melted ice begins to rise from 0 degree C in the part BC. This is the part. Okay. Now, change in volume on melting. Most of the substances like lead, wax, etc. expand on heating, but some substances like ice contract on melting. Okay. Now, effect of pressure on melting point. Effect of pressure on melting point. The melting point of the substance which contract on melting like ice decreases by the increase in pressure. For example, the melting point of ice decreases by 0.0072 degrees C for every 1 atmospheric rise in pressure. On the other hand, the melting point of substances like wax, lead, etc., which expand on melting, increases by the increase in pressure. So, the substances which contract on melting, their melting point decreases by increase in pressure, whereas the melting point of substances which expand on melting increase by the increase in pressure. Then, effect of impurities on melting point is a very important point which is very often asked. For 1 mark though, effect of impurities on the melting point. The melting point of a substance decreases by the pressure of impurities in it. The melting point of ice decreases from 0 to minus 22 degrees Celsius on mixing salt to it in proper proportion. This fact is utilized in making the freezing mixture by adding the salt to ice. The freezing mixture is used in preparing kulfis. So, they usually ask what is meant by freezing mixture. So freezing mixture is nothing but a mixture of ice and salt which reduces the melting point of ice from 0 to minus 22. Okay, then vaporization or boiling. The change from liquid to gas or vapor is called by absorbing heat at a constant temperature is called vaporization. This you all know because you are learning from very small classes. Now the particular temperature at which the vaporization takes place is called the boiling point of the liquid. Similarly, change from vapor to liquid phase by liberating heat at a constant temperature is called the condensation or liquefaction. And the particular temperature at which condensation occurs is called the condensation point of the vapor. Now, heating curve of water. Now, to get the heating curve of water, we perform the experiment. Take some water at room temperature, say 20 degrees C, in a flask and suspend a thermometer in it. Heat the flask by keeping it over a Bunsen burner and note its temperature after every half a minute till the water starts boiling and the flask contains vapors. At this stage, bubbles are formed throughout the water. This indicates that boiling occurs throughout the volume of water. Now, if you plot a graph for temperature against time by taking the temperature on y-axis and time on the x-axis, this graph looks like this. So water at 20 degrees C is taken and heated. The water starts boiling at 100 and it continues boiling at 100 till the water changes to vapor or steam. So then you plot, you get this heating curve of water. Now effect of pressure on boiling point. Boiling point. The boiling point of a liquid increases with increase in pressure and decreases with decrease in pressure. So Now, what happens? The boiling point of a liquid increases with increasing pressure and decreases with decreasing pressure. Then, effect of impurities on boiling point. Now, the boiling point of a liquid increases by addition of impurities to it. If common salt is added to water, it boils at a temperature higher than 100. Hence, we add salt while cooking pulses. The water then provides sufficient heat energy to its content before boiling, and so the cooking becomes easier and faster. The latent heat and specific latent heat. Okay. Now, heat energy is absorbed by a solid during melting, and an equal amount of heat energy is liberated by the liquid during freezing. Now, without showing any change in temperature. Similarly, heat energy is absorbed by liquid during vaporization, and an equal amount of heat energy is liberated by the vapor during condensation. Okay, since the heat energy absorbed or liberated in change of phase is not externally manifested by any rise in further temperature, it is called latent heat. Latent heat, when expressed for unit mass of substance, is called specific latent heat. So, specific latent heat is denoted by symbol L. So that L is equal to heat absorbed or liberated for change of phase upon the mass of the substance. If Q is the amount of heat absorbed or liberated, or liberated by mass m of a substance. When is heat absorbed? When is heat absorbed? Heat is absorbed when the substance changes from solid to liquid, or when the substance changes from heat is liberated, the substance changes from liquid to solid. So, if Q is the amount of heat and M is the mass of the substance, then L, that is the latent heat is written as L. So L is equal to Q upon M. Thus, specific latent heat of a phase is the quantity of heat energy absorbed or liberated by unit mass of substance for the change of its phase, or Q is equal to mass, that is M, into specific latent heat. So, the unit of specific latent heat, or SI unit of specific latent heat, SI unit of specific latent heat, the SI unit of specific latent heat is joule per kg. Joule per kg. Okay. Now, the common units that are used are calorie per gram, kilocalorie per kg, and the relation is 1 kilocalorie per kg is equal to 1 calorie per gram, and 1 calorie per gram is equal to 4.2 joule per gram, and 1 calorie per gram is equal to 4.2 into 10 to the power of 3 joule per kg. Okay, so these relationship you must remember. Then the specific latent heat. Specific latent heat of fusion of ice. Now, the specific latent heat of fusion of ice is the heat energy required to melt unit mass of ice at 0 degrees Celsius to water at 0 degrees Celsius without any change in temperature. On the other hand, specific latent heat of freezing of ice is the heat energy released when a unit mass of water at 0 degrees Celsius freezes to ice at 0 degrees Celsius without changing temperature. So, specific latent heat of fusion of ice is the heat energy required or heat energy that we have to supply to melt unit mass of ice at 0 degrees Celsius to water at 0 degrees Celsius. Whereas specific latent heat of freezing of ice is the heat energy released or given out when a unit mass of water at 0 degrees Celsius freezes to ice at 0 degrees Celsius. Now, natural consequences of high specific latent heat of fusion of ice. No. Snow on mountains does not melt all at once. Snow on mountain does not melt all at once. The reason, why is the give reason? So because ice has a high specific latent heat of fusion. You have to mention this point. Ice has high specific latent heat of fusion. It is due to this fact that it changes into water slowly as it gets heat energy from the sun. If latent heat would have been low, all the snow would have melted in a short time on getting heat from the sun and there would have been floods. Okay. Now, second one, in cold countries, water in lakes and ponds does not freeze all at once. This is because, again, specific latent heat of fusion of ice is high. The water in lakes and ponds will have to liberate large quantity of heat to the surrounding before freezing. The layer of ice formed over the water surface, being a poor conductor of heat, will also prevent the loss of heat from the water of the lake. Hence, it does not freeze all at once. Drinks get cooled more quickly by adding pieces of ice than ice-cold water. drinks get cooled more quickly by adding ice cubes than ice cold water. Than ice cold water at 0 degrees C. So, what happens during drinks get cooled more quickly by adding ice cubes rather than adding ice cold water. What is the reason? This is because 1 gram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius absorbs or takes 336 joules of heat energy from the drink to melt into water at 0 degrees C. Thus, the drink liberates an additional 336 of joules of heat energy to 1 gram of ice at 0 degrees C than to 1 gram ice cold water at 0 degrees C. Therefore, cooling produced by 1 gram of ice at 0 degrees centigrade is much more than that by 1 gram of water at 0 degree C. When ice is frozen, lake starts. When ice in a frozen lake starts melting, its surrounding becomes very cold. What happens when ice in a frozen lake starts melting? Its surrounding becomes very cold. Give reason. This is because a quite large amount of heat energy is required for melting the frozen lake, which is absorbed from the surrounding atmosphere. So as a result, the temperature of the surrounding falls and becomes very cold. Then it is generally more cold after a hailstorm than during or before the hailstorm. Give reason. Okay. Now because after the hailstorm, ice absorbs the heat energy required for its melting from the surroundings. So the temperature of the surrounding falls further down and we feel more cold. So that completes the chapter. There are no numericals to be done from this chapter because it is omitted from your scope. Okay. So thank you, children.